in East Africa. The cross-border trade contributes income, provides jobs and empowers women in some of the most fragile and impoverished border communities in the continent. However, below the calm waters of cross-border trade lies the heavy undercurrents of violations against women traders, their voices muted, subdued and sometimes unheard.
EASSI has been working with women cross-border traders for over a decade now. And over the years, we've noted the changing trend in terms of doing business. We are getting more and more women joining trade and working towards formalizing their businesses. However, there are still a number of challenges that come with that. As they try to formalize trade. As a EASSI, we are so much interested in investigating how deep is this sexual harassment, how deep is the violence against women. And we want women to start speaking about it. Because unless they speak about it, we can't have the evidence to advocate against sexual harassment for women cross-border traders.
Irene Biarohanga, with her fellow traders from Chupungira village near Goli border, came across a group of men who claimed to be security officers. These took their money and goods and later held them hostage.
When we were there thinking that we were safe, at night it was a different story. They wanted to violate us, they wanted to have sex with us. At first they wanted to engage us in drinking, which we say we don't do. And because we think that is how they wanted to just take advantage of us, but we say we could not take a drink. And from there, since nothing worked according to their expectation, they started harassing us. Not until one of us had a phone who called back to someone whom she knew. And when she called my colleague, when she called that friend, that person in Mahagi town, this person came for our rescue. We recorded 2 women who have been seriously caned by the DRC army, police, I can't tell it well. Then we have also cases of sexual abuse, which have been done to 3 women. These are housewives and they have been sexually abused in DRC side.
Awekuni Mongo Medina, a single mother of 3 from Paida. She has not been so lucky.
Our problem is that, yes, we do this business, but you don't really gain from it. What I'm doing now doesn't help me. Sometimes when you live here and cross to Congo, with the little money on your way back, we are arrested, and sometimes we are raped. And the little money you have is also taken away from you. And sometimes to save your life, you let them do whatever they want to do to you. I sometimes end up coming back empty-handed, and yet I have children. I have 3 children that I educate, that I have to feed, and also have to parent. Because of this situation, I end up getting frustrated and makes me do things I shouldn't. I sometimes end up being involved in prostitution to earn a living.
Women have problems. You find a woman has a child at home and the husband does not return to her. You find most men have wives but go back at 2 a.m. in the morning. And this causes fights at home until they separate. You find the woman is left alone and she has to take care of the children. She has to pay school fees. She has to make sure the children have food. She has to make sure the children have clothes on their backs. And there is little effort put in educating people about these issues. There are border officials who have not been trained on how to deal with traders. They are ignorant about the rights of traders. Women traders Some of them might not be familiar with the border procedures. Instead of the police, security officers, and other officials giving them direction, they end up shouting at them. They don't know where to begin and end from.
You'll find we are facing sexual problem also. That one is true. You'll find a woman is almost 6, 7 months or 9 months, but the husband will still need the woman to use the woman again, and that one is sexual violence, which that one we are facing it really. And mostly it is with those who are taking alcohol. Those who overdrink, they can do that one for us. Sometimes they can even fight you because of sex, which is not the right thing to do. At least if they could give us some chance, that they could at least listen to us also, that one will be fair. Then you'll find it sometimes also when you are doing your business, the little money you are getting, the man will just ask for that little money. So you should give it to him so that you can go and use for drinking.
Mokesha Chantal from Congo is a worried trader because of the many taxes she has to pay.
Wanawake wanapitia shida nyingi.
Women go through a lot of challenges. Like me, for example, when I cross the border, I go to Uganda to pick shoes. I see sometimes here at the border police and the customs officers. They ask you to pay, and sometimes you have little money. And that's why sometimes we have to pass through informal routes. On this informal route, when they get you, you pay more money.
Busia border represents 70.7% of all cross-border trade by women traders between Kenya and Uganda. It's the highest ranking final destination market for bilateral cross-border trade at 34.9% according to South African Research Institute. The one-stop border is the busiest in the East African community. The disabled women traders in Busia, Uganda is a worried lot. Nambuya Eunice is one of the traders from Busia, Uganda.
We do business, but we live in fear. We are in danger. When it reaches 6 or 7 and you are still carrying goods anytime, you can be robbed and killed. Here at Busia border, there is one of my colleagues who was hammered on the head. She was transporting rice and it was past 7 p.m. while still on the way. So they waited for her and attacked her, took her goods and money. We were informed in the morning about the incident and we took her to the hospital. This shows that we are in great danger. We move though in fear. Even during the day, if you are alone, you cannot pass past the border stage.
Their goods gets lost. When it's stolen by the mafias, even the officers themselves take some of their goods when they cross illegally, threatening them saying, "Why have you passed here?" On top of that, women naturally know the ways of men. There are some greedy men. They are aggressive. In the end, the woman is injured and raped. She has got what she did not expect. Her goods are gone. She has been raped and sometimes gets diseases she did not bargain for.
Esther Adongo, chairleader of Sokomawe Market, Busia County, is worried about the high cases of rape and access to drugs.
On our way to Uganda, we are mistreated, we are raped, and so many other bad things. It's not easy for a woman to pass with your bag of maize or granuts without giving a bribe. You give a bribe when going and also on your way back. And many times we have been disturbed, especially at this time of COVID when they have closed the border. You cannot move your goods without encountering bad touches from men, and sometimes some of us get raped. An old woman like me gets raped. I'm infected with a disease. If I reach home, I cannot even share with my child, my only son. You cannot tell your son that I have been raped. I would just cry, and that's how you find some people picking a rope to hang themselves. Mama Alice is a member of our organization, and she has been raped and many other bad things done to her.
the revenue authority people, others go to the extent of forcing these women to love them. They want to exploit them sexually, such that if you refuse, then they will always pound whatever you are selling. Not only revenue, but even policemen within this town, along the border lines, they also keep on harassing these women and extorting from them. Most of these women are single mothers, and others are married. Not all of them are single mothers. When she has gone to buy things, and she find there is a hostile officer at the checkpoint, they will always delay to go back home, and which at times leads to a fight, a quarrel, and at times leading even to breakages in their families.
The violence cases we face are mostly harassment by the security, sexual harassment, there is extortion of money, there is even theft of our products, most especially when you go through informal routes.
We found that Busia being dynamic, being a port and a town with a number of porous routes, some thugs pose in form of either URA enforcement or security of customs and inward Busia to arrest and even intercept these people, even when they are not carrying things that are dutiable. So in so doing, many have been harassed, many have been also harassed sexually. It has also come to our attention, and we have followed up on these some other matters.
Isebania, we meet Millicent Ruby Muita, a rice trader who has run the business for more than 15 years.
We pass through informal routes because of the high taxes. If you pass there and you have one bag of rice, they will still ask money from you. You have bought the rice with 5,000 Kenyan shillings. In that 5,000, you have to deduct 3,000. You give the policeman, you give the customs and the cabs. What do you remain with? It's because of that weakness that we are forced to carry in small quantities as we cross, so that we avoid the high taxes. The people who harass us are the policemen in Tanzania. The Tanzania policeman, if he finds you with the rice, he will confiscate it, and when it's confiscated, you will not get it back. Even if you try to do a follow-up, they will tell you that it's now government property. You will never get your rice back. That rice would have just gone like that. A man will come and contribute once to your business, then the second time, the following time, he will tell you that I'm your customer, why don't you give me credit? Then he takes on credit and he will not pay. If you go to ask about the payment, he will also say, what will you do if I don't pay? That's a challenge we face. Another one will come and tell you, I've asked you for love, but you have refused. Now I will not pay you because you refused. Now you wonder how sex is related to my rice. As a woman, sometimes you give a border rider luggage to transport only for him to disappear with your luggage. Sometimes you hire their services to cross the border and pick your luggage, only for him to take you to the bush. And once there, he can rob you of your money or even rape you. I once saw a lady who got services from some boys to help her cross the border, only for them to blackmail her. They told her to take you to the lodge for sex or will report you to the police. They threaten you.
Women here, they go through a lot of violence, especially those who sell bananas in town. They face domestic violence in their marriages from their husbands. In the course of their business, especially the ones selling bananas, they are sexually violated. Somebody will order for bananas to be delivered to his house, only for him to turn around and rape the woman. The people around cover up for the man, and the blame goes to the woman trader. These women are violated many times, and we see it, but helping them becomes a problem. We see even the ones who are into prostitution. They agree with the man, and the man later refuses to pay after the services. They beat them up, they accuse them of theft, and the woman even loses the money she has. and she's violated just like that. She has no say, and that ends there.
We at the border, and sometimes there are goods we are supposed to collect from Kenya and others in Tanzania. But sometimes when you come to collect from Kenya, you pick your goods without a problem. But when returning on the Tanzanian side, you meet some challenges. Crossing the border is difficult, and they ask you many questions. And in questioning you, if you don't explain yourself well, they might confiscate your goods. And when we go there, since the border was closed, there at the gate it has been difficult passing with heavy luggage. It forces us to go and pass through the informal routes in order to pass through with our goods. And even when you pass there, you must pay a bribe. And sometimes you don't even have the money. When you come, you tell the policeman at the gate, I don't have money. They will not understand you. They will tell you the border is closed, and you are supposed to know that we as policemen need money. When you pass with your bag, they will stop you and they will ask you where your luggage is coming from. Yet they clearly know it's from Tanzania. They will ask for your ID. You give them your Tanzania ID, and they will say it doesn't meet the threshold. They will offload your luggage and peruse through your clothes, even your petty clothes. You know us women with our petty clothes. They will inspect you and ask you very embarrassing questions. Even if you are okay and you don't have any problem, they will ask you to talk well, or they will take away your goods. Talking well means asking for money, which might even be more than the goods you are carrying.
Joachim Mwawasi is the Kenya Revenue Station Manager at the Isebania border post.
There are reporting channels, because this country is ruled by law, and we have government agencies everywhere to handle that. Now, sometimes they might be hesitant to report some of these things because maybe whoever is the perpetrator is a member of the same government agency. Now, if they are subjected to violence, they can report to the police. If it is not forthcoming, or they do not want to report to the police, they can also report to us, because at least we're involved in helping them with their trade, and we are also members of what we call the Border Management Committee, which we do chair, in which also the police sit.
Violence against women traders is not only at the border points, but also extends to the wider space perpetrated during transportation of goods, as Jessica from Mutukula experienced.
As women, the driver transporting your goods, if you're not smart and know your goals, wants to use you. The supplier wants to use you. The clearing officer wants to use you. I sympathize with the young ones at clearing. It's about 9 p.m. and he says, let's leave. I was afraid and asked myself, what is this man's intention? And I said, I would like someone to escort me. That man, I told him, let's leave, it's late. He had other intentions ahead. We were going to Ntantamucha, taking produce to the granary. He knew there was a small forested area. He was there with other intentions. He wanted to use me. He told me, you have your God. I have been admiring you for a while, thinking that by the time we get to a bushy area, I will tell you we have mechanical failure, so I can use you there. The agent When they're informed you have goods, they want to be the ones determining the price. They don't know how much your goods cost or your cost of transport, and yet they want to be the ones to determine the price so that they can clear all papers and be the ones to sell. The agents, they're right here. They are the ones disturbing women and also traders who buy and don't want to pay for the goods. If you want to cross safely without paying money, let's first go and have sex, and yet you do not want to. So in this struggle, you, in wanting to succeed, end up giving in order to avoid paying, but it's done unwillingly. It's a challenge we women face as we trade in Tanzania. I personally have a husband, but some of the children I have aren't his. He tries to put me in a situation I do not want to be in. He is my man, but he has me and also others. He travels and sleeps with other women, and then he wants to come and have sex with you by force, and yet you do not want to. When you refuse, he denies you basic needs at home, and you end up being overwhelmed and say, I wish I could find someone to buy me a cup of milk for the children. Since the president announced that we obtained the small traders cards, which cost 20,000 Tanzania shillings, they have really helped us. But still there is a problem. Our leaders on the Tanzanian side, they still disturb us a bit. But not the bosses. When we go to the markets, those ones who come still demand for taxes despite having that card. And then you ask yourself, we have been told if you obtain that card, you are not going to be disturbed because you are a small trader, but still they are disturbing us. Now that challenge, I don't know how we'll address it.
When a woman starts her business, some of their spouses don't allow them. They do them secretly. So that the husband does not come to know. Because when the husband knows that this woman is doing such and such a business, the husband is just going to leave everything for her, like paying school fees for the children, paying whatever, even everything at home. Why? Why is he doing that? Because men have a tendency of saying that I can't work, and at the same time you also work. So for them, they think that women are supposed to stay home and do domestic work or take care of the children, forgetting that most of the time women are the ones facing a lot of problems. When their husbands have gone for long safaris, the woman will stay home with the children.
Women are beaten a lot. They are told, I don't think you are going to do business. You are just going to look for men. When she comes back late, even before explaining herself, she's beaten. When she has been beaten, it means already she's not well and she will relax instead of progressing in her business. The business diminishes.
Along these borders, they are manned by soldiers who don't know the concept of OCBPs. So you find that women traders sometimes, especially those who lack information, they pass through ungazetted routes. When they pass through ungazetted routes, so they meet there these armed security personnel who guard the borders. And the information we have heard is that they are harassed. And we try also to bring them back onto the fold to show them the dangers of passing through ungazetted routes. And you find that even the soldiers who are manning, they are not well known. I mean, they are not well versed with the concept of OCBP.
The cross-border women traders' voices across the East Africa borders have indicated the following forms of violence: economic violence and coercion, which includes paying of informal fees, impounding of goods, bribery and corruption, and delays at the border. Sexual violence. The economic violence, most of the time, it tends to lead into sexual violence, and it ranges from verbal sexual harassment, transactional sexual relationships as a coping mechanism between cross-border traders and the border officials, and rape. Physical violence and verbal abuse. This includes robbery, physical assaults, insults, and threats. What is the way forward in tackling violence against women cross-border traders?
We use
our leaders, our local leaders, local councils on the Ugandan side. But they also get to a point of defeat. And let me also say this. Being one of the members of the local council, your heart may not be good and you end up being involved in the torturing process. Because you are on the council and you are needy, and sometimes you want to torture that woman in form of rape. That's why we try so hard to have the local council assist us, but we also encounter challenges within that I would request to be solved so we can avoid all these problems. Because of all these challenges are solved, there won't be ABCD. A person travels easily and crosses easily with their goods and returns safely with their goods as well.
I would appeal to government and development partners to continue investing in sensitization. Because as long as our women are aware, most of these issues that are criminal in nature shall be avoided completely.
Unfortunately, because of the COVID situation, we cannot sensitize them in mass because we can only handle a few people at a time. But otherwise, this office is open for them at any time, and they are able to come here at any time and to be assisted either by me or by my officers. Now, regarding the issues to do with health, you realize that we have to protect the society. And we have a number of agencies here at the border. Yes, I'm in charge of KRA, but we have other agencies. You have Port Health. We have the others. We have Kenya Bureau of Standards. Now, our roles, apart from collecting revenue, is to protect the society. So yes, we'll still have to do the inspections, because these inspections are able to help them, to help the society, so that we protect the society, so that we don't, for example, we ensure that diseases do not get to the people.
It was very, very hard at first. These ladies did not have permanent offices, did not have permanent stores along these borders. But with the coming of OSBP, and then EASSI coming in, I must take this time to appreciate EASSI. EASSI has played a very big role, especially in information exchange, information flow, education, sensitization, trying to connect different women groups across the borders to come and share the knowledge. This has also helped to know that a women group which is operating at Mutukula operates in the same standard like the one of Olego or Isebania. So you can see that EASSI, the East African Support Initiative for Women, has somehow helped bring these many groups together and has helped streamline.
It is abundantly clear that there is need to think out of the box when it comes to fighting violence against women cross-border traders.
I think as a EASSI, we shall continue pushing for the protection of the cross-border traders, particularly the small cross-border traders, and working with our partners, TradeMark East Africa, and also the Canadian government. We believe that together we can improve the trading conditions for particularly the women cross-border traders, because a woman trader has to be protected not only for herself, but for her family and for the entire community.